into a little more tech news. I reported on this before, but nobody seemed to be really listening because Trump was and the Democrats were doing other things, and they had all that Mueller stuff going on. And well, seems the FBI is continuing to press forward with the backdoors, and that one guy that I told you about that was talking about how they would come after Google and all the rest of those places. This is why they're doing that. It's because they want the backdoor and encryption. Okay? And you ask yourself, well, okay, well, so what? There'd be a bunch of cops with all this extra knowledge and things, right? Okay, they'll see things. Well, once the hackers find it, you're screwed. All of you. Every one of you. You won't be able to put a bank card to use PayPal or Patreon or none of this without it being stolen and used on you. Okay, that's the whole thing. And should you actually piss them off, the FBI or whoever, they and they have done this in the past without permission, is mess with people's bank accounts, mess with your stuff. There's a ton of things that they will do to mess with you if you don't conform. Do as you're told, little boys and girls, or else. That's what this is. This isn't about an adult conversation. It's about a bunch of peeping toms that are I want to confront this guy and say, listen, are you a friend of Epstein by any chance? You like to look at little kids' stuff, what they're doing and what they're up to all the time, because as parents, I think we want our kids, to be safe, right? Right? Yes, no, yes, no. Okay. And here's a little tip for you if you're buying and selling things on the internet. Use a prepaid card. Okay? Anybody who uses a legitimate full-on credit card on the internet to buy things deserves every little bit of stupidity they get. Okay? If you haven't learned that by now, you should just leave the internet. But anyway, okay? There's more issues with this, okay? The main issue, okay, is this is going to drive guys like me who aren't even in the United States to go and look for alternatives to other software, okay? And, I'm not going to use American products. I've already said it, eh? I said, they pull this, I'll just, go get myself a version of the open source code from Linux and I'll put my own stuff in it and they can go get bent. And you ask yourself, well, big deal, man. You won't have that many games and stuff like that. Well, then I guess I'll have to change my attitude about Steam, I guess, and the Steam Linux stuff, because a lot of games are working on Linux now. And when you see that Windows as an entirety of the internet is now only 16% of it or something like that, or 30%, and Android is 56%. Well, Android, unfortunately, is American. Well, that's going to then change, isn't it? I'm guaranteeing you, once you backdoor all your American stuff, you're going to see massive numbers of people say, that's it, I've had enough of you stupid Americans, okay? Quit being stupid, all right? Do some business for a change. Innovate instead of trying to trade war and start fights and arguments and wars around the world. We're all sick of it. We're not just sick of the Democrats and their stupidity. We're sick of everything the United States has been doing, okay? And I have a lot of American friends. You're good people. Smarten up. Don't listen to everything they say, because it just hurts my brain, okay, to have to think about these things, right? And this is why I was saying earlier, I'm not giving up on YouTube. I'm just going to see how it works out, because hey, they're going to backdoor all this. Why would I put anything to do with my personal information into this? Why would I put anything into any of this when then Google's going to have to be handling it? And look how they've been handling it so far. I'm sorry, that's just not an option, okay? I mean, that's like trusting... Oh, never mind. I swore at Microsoft. I'm not going to swear again, okay? But this FBI guy's a moron. Okay, everybody. He's a peeping tom. He's probably, never mind. He's probably a sicko in some fashion. You know, seriously. I don't see any of the and you know what, President Trump, if you're listening, and anybody that's close to him, okay, you shouldn't be listening to this guy because this is one spot on the internet you're gonna get dropped, and you're gonna get dropped hard, and you're gonna get dropped hard by people with brain cells who will not only be able to speak about it, but wittily destroy any idiots you try to send about this. Okay, I'll prove it for a fact. Okay, I'll start leaking out all my old hacker files and stuff out of the internet. By the time you come get me, you know, I'll have armed the entire internet to mess with anything that has to do with that. And you got to remember, when I had the hacker site up, 30% of the traffic to it was coming from the U.S. military to download Brutus. You know what they were doing? Cracking passwords. That's what they wanted to do. They're a bunch of peeping toms too, so ban them. Same with Saudi Arabia. That was another 15% of the thing. So you got these two nations and two groups of peoples that all they want to do is spy on people. Okay? And then it comes out today that they're also the other day that you had Americans pretending to be Russians inside the United States, or hiring Russians inside the United States to pretend about all this Mueller stuff and the Russian spying thing. Well, hey, there was not too long ago, there were some elections and some big news up in Canada, and here I am. I was just, Global News has this thing there, and then there's like a Facebook thing. You just highlight the guy's name, you go over to his page, and guess what? This Russian suddenly is nothing but an American. you know, I'll tell you what, America, if you're so concerned about people messing around with your elections, stay out of other people's. It's getting stupid, man. The logic is not there, okay? Anyway, throw this video up too, and whatever. I want to go game the rest of the day because I don't even want to think about these kinds of things. This is why people game. You're going to put backdoors in our games too? Like, what the hell? All these microtransactions going on in games, and they want to backdoor the games. Like, that's going to go well. You know how many hackers there are involved in gaming? Tons of them. And they're going to get these backdoors, and then this shit's going to fly. You know how they do it? Yeah, and I'll tell you how easy it would be. Let's see, we have this source code today. Tomorrow, after the law is passed, this has changed. So now they have an area where they can look at the code to see where it's changed. And guaranteed, they'll find out how to do it, and then everything's going to go screwy sideways when parents and everybody else is going, where's all my money? Some kids on the beach laughing and drinking pina coladas going, woo. Anyway, to gaming we go. See you later, guys. Oh, and I'm going to leave a link for a guy that was a U.S. and just to show, okay, how good of people are around me. Last night we raised something like an extra $3,000 for a veteran who had some medical bills and then was going to become homeless. Okay, 5% of the PC that I'm using right now, I'm in Canada, by the way, went to U.S. veterans, okay? Because we look after our vets up here in Canada fairly well. There are some small issues now and then, but by and large, we look after them. Anyway, so I'll leave a link to that, and there's a GoFundMe, and I'll see if I can find the video live stream that the guy did, that he's a friend of his or something like that. He's a BattleTech player and stuff like that. He just likes to play the game and have fun. It's just totally not serious, kind of like in the brain cells of myself. So if you can afford $1, if you can't, spread the links around, Let's see what we can do for this guy by the end of the weekend. He's already reached the goal and everything, but, let's make sure that he never becomes homeless again, Anyway, have a good one, everybody.